Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it is so lovely to see you today. In this video we're going to be doing a review of the Book of Ancestors, so grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. So today's video is not sponsored. The authors, Claire Goodchild, does not know I exist. They are not affiliated with me, nor is the company that did it, Voracious. It's not sponsored. They don't know I exist. I bought this with my own money. So yes, I do want to say that. This book came out in October and two ancestor books came out in October, actually this one and the one we're going to be doing next. So yeah, it takes me a bit to read a book, but I'm so excited to talk about this book. You all know I love working with my ancestors, so you all should know that this is going to be quite the review. But before we get to it, don't forget, if you're new here, you can click the subscribe button to become part of the butterfly family. We would absolutely love to have you here, so don't forget to leave this video a cheeky like and a comment as well. It helps my video to be seen by more people in the YouTubeverse. But as always, the best way to help me here at the channel is to head down to the description and the pinned comment where I have links to Ko-fi and Patreon. Both places help me so much in bringing content to you. I buy my own books, I buy my own tarot decks to review, and if you enjoy me reviewing products, then head down there. I am going to be changing up the things that you get on Patreon each month in the new year, so this is a perfect time to go and join the fun over there. You also get access to an exclusive Discord server where you can chat to me and get to know other members of the butterfly family. It's really friendly and inclusive there, and it's just £2 a month. There's a lot of fun coming, so definitely make sure you hit those buttons. But for now, let's get on with the review, shall we? So the first thing that I want to say, this book is hefty. It is a thick, hardbacked book. It is a hefty book, and I will say that I really love hardback books, but they can be kind of hard to read if you have hand issues or hand pain, arm pain, that sort of thing. I did struggle at times to hold the book, so I would suggest looking into getting it on Kindle or getting a paperback version if that's available now. But I did pre-order this, and when I ordered it there was only hardback option available. Just so you know, if any of my disabled witches out there looking to get this book, be aware of that. Now, one thing that I've talked about a lot on this channel to do with witchcraft on YouTube, as well as the books that we buy, is many of them are very centered in American culture and American faith, and that's okay if you're American, but I don't know if you can tell by the way I speak, but I'm not American. And so what I really loved about this book is it is not American centric. I don't know where oh, she's from Canada, that might be why, but also Canada is part of America, so I will still say that what I really appreciated is that this book covers many different cultures, many different religions and faiths. In many of the areas they will talk about people from different... Beverley, can we try and speak today, please? What I really appreciate about her is that she included stories about people from LGBTQ background. They talked about different faiths, different religions from all over the world, from Jewish to Muslim to people who are different colours and different races, different cultures. I love that. We're seeing it more and more now. The more we start to raise our voices that we want to hear from other people in different cultures, the more it's being listened to, and I really love that, because for a long time it was just American white and English white experiences that were being shared, but now we're seeing it more and more, and I love that so much. They even spoke about how in some African cultures, and there's other places in the world as well, but I've only personally heard of in some African countries, but I'm sure there are other places as well, where the dead are treated as if they are still alive. And remember watching a TV series years and years and years ago now in the UK, where they basically dig up the bones of their ancestors and bring them to parties, bring them their bones and their remains, even like broken coffins and things, they'd be bought to celebrate certain holidays with them. And even I saw where people's bodies were propped up as if they were still alive. Now, to me, as an English person who, here in England, death is very much something we don't want to look at, we don't want to think about. We don't have open coffins even, like you don't go and see the body unless you're like the very next of kin. And so it's very closed off in our society, and so the thought of that just sounds horrifying. But when I watched this programme about it, it just seemed so lovely, like they were sitting at their own funeral and people were like leaving money for them and presents for them to take with them to the afterlife, and I thought that was beautiful. Stories like that are included in this book, and I thought that was incredible. We are all a mixture now. Like, it's very hard to do your DNA or to look into your family tree and see that you are 100% from the country that you were born in. Many of us find that we have family members and relatives that are from different races, different cultures, different countries. It's a big melting pot now, especially as we're moving around more and more. And so it's important to learn about other cultures. It's important to open our minds and open our hearts. I'm waffling, but yes, I love hearing about other countries and religions. I am an omnist, so the study of other religions is something that really, really fascinates me. I always loved RE at school, so it really, really fascinated me to have that included in this book. Very cool. The next thing, as you can see from the front cover, the illustrations in this book are absolutely stunning. I love this sort of artwork, this kind of Victoriana, kind of gothic artwork, and it's very reminiscent of tattoo culture. This kind of mixing flowers in with this kind of dark and gothic look, as well as including like Victorian cards and things like that, information in a way that is very reminiscent of artwork that we've all seen. Like, we've all seen stuff like this. And this person who wrote this, Claire Goodchild, I will leave a link to their social media down below, but they do have their own ancestor oracle deck, and I think they're doing or have done a tarot deck in a very similar sort of illustration. So if you enjoy this sort of thing and it really calls to you, check them out. I will leave a link down below. Again, not sponsored. Wish I was, but I'm not. I'm too small of a YouTuber to have anybody want to sponsor a video. But it's really, really cool to see people creating their own style, and this style is so personal to this person and yet reminiscent of this gothic-y tattoo kind of look. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I hope I'm making sense. I hope I am. I'm probably not. It's one of those days. Just ignore me. One thing that I really love in books like this is they go deeper and share something different. I've read a lot of ancestry books and ancestor veneration books, and they all kind of become a much of a muchness after a while. They're all very similar, and you kind of start to feel like, oh, there's no way to like deepen, there's no way to like go deeper or to personalize the way I speak to my ancestors. I tell you what, I've just realized I'm sat facing my ancestor altar, and it's really nice to have them all watching me talk about working with my ancestors. It's very cool. Anyway, but this book goes into a lot of information that I have not seen anywhere else. It's very much a practical book, and that's what I like about it. They do talk about etiquette of going to grave sites and cemeteries if you are a witch. It also talks about ways to look into different certifications, like marriage certificates, how to understand immigration records, where to find information about where your ancestors could be buried if you want to go and pay your respects in person. There are websites specifically for that, and I really love that they mention that. They give so much information on how to deepen your research into your family members, and also how to understand the symbols that they have chosen, or their family have chosen, to place on their tombstones and gravestones if they have them. A lot of people in England, we don't have them anymore. We have not a lot of room here in the UK, and so for a few generations now people have been cremated. Cremation is more the thing that we do here. I think in America it's more burial. I love that we can learn about our ancestors by looking at their gravestones. Brain, will you switch on this morning? Hello, hello? Have you tried turning your brain off and on again? I also love that the whole thing of this book is it's supposed to be done in a practical way. What I mean by that is they are talking you through setting up your own family tree in a book or in a folder, a way to research your recent ancestors. I think they say to go as far back as your great-grandparents. You've still got a lot of people to look into, and every time it starts getting a bit crazy. So just go as far back as that. But I love the fact that they even talk you through how to write your own page in your book, including pictures of yourself and stories about your wedding day, and stories about when you were a child. So when you pass on this book to more people in your family, then you become an ancestor that they can then follow on from that. And I love that so much. I love seeing it as being something that you would pass on rather than just something you're doing for yourself, which ancestor work should be. It should be something that we do as a practice to pass on and work with our family as we become ancestors. And that's what I love about ancestor work. So yeah, this book is really good. I would highly recommend it, especially if you've been reading Ancestor book along with me and learning about ancestor work along with me as I've been making this journey on my own. And I love the thought of you all going, yeah, but I kind of want to go a bit deeper now. This is the book to take you a little bit deeper. So everybody, get this book, give it a read. If you just want to get, like, start your veneration practice, this is great for beginners as well. So if you've not read any other books about ancestor veneration, there you go. It's a perfectly good book for anybody, beginner or more, what's the word? Or if you've been working with your ancestors for a while, couldn't think of the word, gave up. That's my life. Overall, I really enjoyed that book. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was beautiful to look at, beautiful to read. I really enjoyed every moment of reading that book, and I'm going to be starting doing my own research into my family in the new year. That is one of my plans for next year. I'm really excited for doing that, and I might do videos about that as I go. If you would like me to do that as I start my journey, definitely let me know by leaving a cheeky like down below. But what is the next book that we are reading? And it is Ancestral Whispers. This came out about a week after that book came out, and I had pre-ordered both of them. This is a paperback book, and I have so much to say about the difference in weight. Like, this is so much heavier. It's a heftier book though, it's a thicker book, but I'm going to talk about that soon. Anyway, I've already started reading it, so hopefully this book review will be out next month. So if you want to grab Ancestral Whispers, A Guide to Building Ancestral Veneration Practices by Ben Stimpson, I will leave all the information to both of these books and their authors down below so you can find out more for yourself. I'm so tired now, but yes, I really enjoy doing these book reviews, so I hope that you do as well, because they're just a really great way to share what I'm learning and how I'm growing in my practice, and I absolutely love that, so I hope you do as well. If you do, don't forget to head down below and hit that subscribe button. Ring that little bell so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here on a Friday as well as sometimes on a Monday. It just depends what's going on in my life, really, and how well I am. But I always try and have at least one video out for you every week. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful, magical week. Blessed you all. I will see you all in the next video. Cheerio.